The Icebook projects emphasize the necessity of communal effort, scientific knowledge, and artistic expression to address complex environmental issues and watershed restoration by releasing seed-laden ephemeral ice sculptures into rivers. The idea for the ice books began in 2007 when I was invited to do a project along Boulder Creek in Colorado as part of an exhibition focused on the climate crisis. Each of the artists was paired with a local scientist. I have often collaborated with scientists from a variety of disciplines throughout my career, and it was wonderful to work with a biogeochemist on this project. A primary water source for Boulder is Arapahoe Glacier, and that glacier, as with most others in the world, is melting so drastically that it may soon disappear entirely. Creating a sculpture out of ice makes this idea visible, so we tangibly sense the loss of glaciers. Simultaneously, positive action is promoted by implanting seeds within the ice. The seeds present both a practical and poetic possibility for repair and renewal. The process of creating the ice books begins with blocks of river ice, some weighing up to 300 pounds. Using a Japanese saw and carving tools, I sculpt both the form of an open book and a closed book. These impermanent sculptural tomes are vehicles for change. The seeds embedded in the ice form a universal ecological language, a restoration text, a poem to the river. I work closely with stream ecologists and botanists to ascertain the best native seeds for each riparian zone. The plants that grow from these seeds help sequester carbon, mitigate floods and drought, hold the banks in place to slow erosion, and facilitate soil regeneration and preservation. They also pollinate other plants, disperse seeds, act as filters for pollutants and debris, supply food and habitat, provide shelter and shade for riverside organisms, including humans, and enhance the aesthetic qualities of riverbanks. Sometimes other natural materials are used instead of seeds. Decker's Creek in West Virginia is highly polluted with acid mine drainage. At this location, the pH level drops from a healthy 7.7 to a problematic 4.2. Instead of seeds, we use limestone because of its ability to neutralize acidity. On Falls Creek in Vancouver, Canada, krill was used rather than seeds to provide food for small fish with the hope of luring salmon back into the area. Most of these projects are highly collaborative and could not occur without the effort of many people working together along rivers where I am honored to be invited. With the help of local communities, the ice books are launched into the water. The calligraphic sentences of seeds slide from the melting pages of the ice into the water to be carried to shore and begin planting themselves along the banks of the river. For me, an important aspect of a community-based ethic is gifting, reciprocity. The participants have donated their time, energy, ideas, and enthusiasm to each Icebook project. So it is with great joy that I give back by presenting each person with a gift related specifically to the waterway where we have all worked together. The act of releasing the ice books is itself a form of reciprocity with the river. In this radically interconnected world, it becomes our collective responsibility to compassionately take care of each other and our environment. In the years since the first Ice Book project, I have been invited to create over 100 hand-carved time-based sculptures to bring attention to rivers and how we might help with restoration efforts. These projects are not about the commercial art world or abstract theorizing while sitting indoors. Rather, they are about connecting diverse, multi-generational communities directly to their local waterways and taking tangible action for river repair. The ice books are replicable, ephemeral, use non-toxic materials, leave behind only native plants, and present a lyrical way to restore streams. Recently, I have been working with people from around the world who want to create their own ice books as a way to make connections to their waterways and initiate restorative actions that address local ecological issues. The results have been inventive, educational, and inspiring, with examples coming in from Spain, France, the Netherlands, Canada, Ireland, and many parts of the United States, including Hawaii. A professor in China organized a 2-day workshop with adults and children who launched ice books into the confluence of the Jialing and Yangtze rivers. An ice book in England focuses on species loss and the collapse of amphibian populations. A frozen volume in Sydney, Australia is embedded with mangrove seedlings. An indigenous artist in the United States carved the words "For water is life" in his native tribal language and placed sacred corn within the text. The book was planted in the red desert earth of the Navajo Nation. Dutch ice books witness a river that has been dredged to help alleviate flooding. Embedded in an ice book from Mexico are plants important to the ancient Lake Xochimilco and the historic canals of Mexico City. If you visit your local river today, what would you add to an ice book to bring attention to ecological issues faced by your watershed?